Ladies, if you've ever felt stuck in a cycle of emotional eating, grabbing snacks when you're stressed, you're bored, you're sad, you're definitely not alone, and I know how hard it can be to be stuck in that cycle. I feel like, especially for us girls, it's so much harder because we are like emotional creatures, right? Like every time with our periods, we're probably depressed for a week, and often we end up just caving into the chocolate. Now, the problem with this is that it actually just leaves us feeling more disappointed, right? We're maybe happy for like the 5 minutes that we're eating the chocolate, and then we just feel disappointed and gutted that we've pretty much let go of ourselves again, right? And we've lost track again. And it makes it a lot harder when you're also on a fitness journey, when you're trying to lose weight, when you're trying to get in shape, and you just can't stay on track because every time you feel some sort of emotion, you go towards food. So if this resonated, in today's video, I'm gonna show you exactly how you can overcome emotional eating and really feel empowered by your own actions and in your body this year. Because let's be real, let's be honest, emotional eating can feel like a never-ending battle. You tell yourself that this is gonna be the last time, right? And then it happens again. You tell yourself you're only gonna have one spoonful of the ice cream, and before you know it, the whole freaking tub is gone. And it feels even worse the day after because you wake up feeling bloated, puffy, and really disappointed in yourself. And you're wondering, should I eat less today? What should I do? I'm just gonna gain weight. And it's just this endless cycle that's really mentally draining. Now, before we get into it, just a little history, like I have gone through this myself, so I know exactly what it feels like. So everything I showcase to you in this video is what's helped me personally and what has also helped my client. If you're new here, my name's Chen Yang, and I've worked with thousands of women now across the world to really help them heal their relationship with food so that they can actually build better habits in place, which ultimately help them lose the weight that they wanted to tone up and to feel really confident in their bodies. Now, when I say I've been through all of this myself, I have gone through episodes of binge eating to a point where I felt sick. I have gone through points where I gained so much weight because I was stress eating, emotional eating, right? And I just didn't realize the impact it would have until it was too late. And then that led me to feeling absolutely crap in my own body. I couldn't fit my clothes, and I really just didn't recognize myself. And it just became so hard because every time I was upset about how I looked, I just eat even more. Now, I am also a massive foodie. I absolutely love food. I have the worst sweet tooth, so that didn't help either. Now, through my own struggles and my own journey and just all these years within the fitness industry, I've come up with quite a few mechanisms and just strategies that have really helped me to get to a point where I no longer have any food focus. I still love food. I'm a massive foodie, but I don't think about food. I eat it, I enjoy it, and I move on. And I've learned how to stay in shape just by eating intuitively, eating out, still enjoying my life. And I really hope that all of you who watch this video can also get to this point. And I also hope that inspires you to know that you can get out from where you're currently at if you are currently struggling. So before we get into it, grab a notebook because the tips that I share today with you could really change your life. All right, so I pretty much jotted down all my strategies, and I probably have like 20, but to save time, because this video will end up being way too long, I'll give you my top 5. The rest we share with our coaching clients. So the first step to overcoming any sort of coping mechanism is to really understand what's triggering it, what's causing it. So for example, is it stress? Is it boredom? Is it a habit that you've built up over time? Is it to maybe fill a void, maybe to make you feel less lonely in the evening? But what exactly is it that's causing you to go towards food as a coping mechanism? Now, the easiest way to really identify these triggers is to actually keep a journal and just write down every time you feel that urge to go towards food, because you don't want to keep it up all in your mind, and then you're going to slowly recognize patterns of behavior there. Now, when you know your triggers, that's when you can start addressing the root causes. The second strategy that I want you to try out is to actually create some time delay and pause before you actually go to eat. What I mean by this is like when you feel that urge to dive into the bag of chips, the chocolate, just give yourself 5 to 10 minutes, step away from the kitchen, remove yourself from the environment, go outside for a walk, distract yourself, just give yourself 5 to 10 minutes, and I can assure you after those 5 to 10 minutes, that urge is going to go away because you've helped yourself regulate your emotions in the time being. Number 3 is find coping mechanisms that aren't involved with food. So simply substitute the eating habit with some other sort of action. Now, this could be writing in a journal, going out for a run, walking your dog, calling a friend, right? Taking a bath. Do something that's going to preoccupy yourself that doesn't revolve around food. Now, this may feel odd at the time, at the start, but when you start replacing the emotional eating and the food with something else, what you're going to do is you're going to create a new habit in place, a more positive habit instead of the eating. Number 4 is I want you to make sure that you're not actually restricting too much in your day-to-day. Restricting food in your day-to-day can actually make emotional eating even worse because it creates this scarcity mindset around food. So instead of banning foods and telling yourself there are certain bad foods or good foods or your trigger foods, just make sure that you're having a balanced diet that actually incorporates all those foods that you enjoy, the sweet foods, the indulgent foods, in your day-to-day, in your week, so that you never feel like you have to cave towards them as a treat. Now, I also wouldn't go ahead and just try to remove those foods from your day, from your kitchen. I know what it's like when you're like, oh, I can't have ice cream in the household because I will binge on it. That really is not a strategy, because ultimately you still have somewhat of a bad relationship with food and with ice cream, right? So instead, I want you to get out of the all or nothing mindset. Slowly train yourself to be able to have those foods around your home, right? But because you've trained yourself to understand that the food is always going to be there, you're never going to restrict yourself from them. You'll no longer actually want to eat a whole tub all at once, because you know that you could have another scoop the next day. The food is still going to be there. And finally, the last thing I want you to do is to be kinder to yourself. Look, you're not going to get over emotional eating overnight, right? You're still going to have those days or nights where you just want chocolate, you want a piece of cake because you're not feeling great. That is okay. You're still human, right? The more you beat yourself up, the harder it's going to get to overcome the emotional eating, right? It's going to happen. You're human, but just learn how to move past it so that you don't repeat the pattern again the next day. Now, I know these strategies sound simple, right? But they do work, and it's so important that you are intentional with working on them and practicing them. Everything good takes time, so it's going to take time for you to create these new habits, right? To get rid of this old current habit. Now, these tips I've shown you have worked with all of our clients. An example is Christine here. Now, before working with us, her biggest challenge was that she would turn towards food every time she was stressed out, every time she felt upset. It was her comfort zone. It was her like safe haven. And the thing is that it would end up making her feel really sad because it would always derail her progress. But however, since working together, we've really worked to identify her triggers, and we've helped her create better and new coping mechanisms in place. She's not only gained control over her eating habits and her emotions, but she's also been able to lose over 18 pounds with us because of these new habits, these positive habits in place. Now, because she has a healthier relationship with food, and because she no longer struggles with emotional eating, she also knows that she can keep this weight off, regardless of if she ever gets stressed or sad again. Now, there's actually a video of her journey with us over on my Instagram, and I'll link it in the description below if you want to check it out, because it's pretty inspiring. If you're tired of feeling just overwhelmed and frustrated and just helpless with emotional eating, really take some time to sit down and reflect on these strategies, write it down, put it in a place that you can actually visually see and start implementing them. And also, if you found this video useful, make sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video, because it really helps me out as well, and it helps me share my content to more people just like you. And I would love to see you guys in the next video. If you haven't been following my Instagram just yet, that's czia.fit, but I post tips every single day there that's really going to help you out if you are on a fitness journey. So yeah, I'll see you over there, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.